My name is Raj, and I am 25 years old. I live in a busy city in India and work as a graphic designer, a job I enjoy. I'm a normal guy who loves cricket. But I had a big secret. I was very scared of English. For many people, English is just a language. It is a tool to talk to others. But for me, English was a monster. It was a giant, invisible wall that stopped me from going where I wanted to go. My fear started when I was in school. I remember my English classes very clearly. The teacher wrote long, difficult formulas on the blackboard. Subject plus verb plus object. Past perfect continuous tense. It sounded like mathematics, not a language. I tried to memorize the rules. I tried to learn lists of vocabulary words. I repeated them like a parrot. But when the teacher called my name, my mind went blank. Raj, stand up, read this sentence, the teacher would say. I would stand up, my legs shaking, my hands were sweaty. I looked at the words in the book, but they danced in front of my eyes. I tried to speak, but the sounds got stuck in my throat. I go to school, I stammered. The class laughed. It's school, not skull, someone shouted. My face turned red. I sat down quickly, wishing I could disappear. From that day on, I hated English. I told myself, I am not smart enough. I don't have a talent for languages. English is not for me. So I avoided it. When I saw a movie in English, I only read the subtitles. When I saw a foreigner on the street, I looked at my phone and walked away quickly. One hot summer afternoon, I had to face a big change. I was waiting for the bus near the city center. It was very crowded. Suddenly, a tall man with a backpack approached me. He had blonde hair and blue eyes. He looked worried. He was holding a map in his hand. My heart started to beat fast. Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me, I thought. But he did. He walked straight to me and smiled politely. Excuse me, he said. His voice was deep. Can you help me? I am lost. How do I get to the History Museum? I froze. I understood the word museum and history. But my brain stopped working. All the grammar rules I learned in school disappeared. I wanted to say, go straight, then turn left. It was a simple sentence, but I couldn't remember the word for straight. Was it ahead? Was it forward? The man waited. He looked at me with hope. I made a strange noise. You, go. I pointed my finger randomly down the street. I felt sweat running down my back. My face was burning hot. Go there? The man asked, pointing where I pointed. Yes, go, I said quickly, just wanting him to leave. Thank you, he said and walked away. I watched him go, and I felt a terrible feeling in my stomach. I had pointed him in the wrong direction. The museum was the other way. I wanted to call him back, but I didn't know how to explain my mistake. I stood there at the bus stop, feeling useless. I was a grown man, 25 years old, but I couldn't give simple directions. I felt like a child. I felt ashamed. That night, I lay in bed and looked at the ceiling. The image of the lost tourist stayed in my mind. I cannot live like this. I whispered to myself. I am missing opportunities. I am afraid of the world. I must change. I must conquer this monster. That night, I made a promise. I would learn English, and I would do it right this time. The next day, I started my mission with high energy, but I made a big mistake. I went back to the old way. I went to the bookstore and bought 3 thick grammar books. I bought a dictionary with 50,000 words. I bought flashcards. I will study hard, I told myself. I will memorize 10 grammar rules every day. I will learn 50 new words every day. For the first week, I was disciplined. Every evening after work, I sat at my desk. I opened the grammar book. I read about irregular verbs. I wrote sentences in a notebook. I break, I broke, I have broken. I eat, I ate, I have eaten. It was boring. It was incredibly boring. After 2 weeks, my energy disappeared. When I opened the book, I felt sleepy. The words didn't stick in my head. I learned a word on Monday, but by Wednesday I forgot it. Trying to speak was even worse. I tried to make a sentence in my head, but I was too busy thinking about rules. Is this past tense? Do I use in or on? Is it a or the? By the time I constructed the sentence in my mind, the moment was gone. I felt frustrated. Maybe I was right, I thought. Maybe I really don't have a talent for this. Maybe my brain is just different. I was ready to give up again. I closed the thick grammar book and pushed it away. Then, I decided to go online. I searched for how to learn English when I keep failing. I clicked on a video. It was a video about a polyglot, a person who speaks many languages. The title was, Stop Studying, Start Living. I watched it. And for the first time, I saw a light in the dark tunnel. The man in the video said something shocking. Think about a baby, he said. Does a baby study grammar books? Does a baby memorize lists of words? No. A baby listens. A baby listens for 1 year, maybe 2 years, before they speak their first clear sentence. He continued, You are trying to run before you can walk. You need input. You need to fill your brain with English sounds first. Don't worry about grammar. Just listen. It sounded too simple. Could it be true? I decided to try his method. I put away the grammar books. The next day, instead of studying rules, I looked for something to watch. The man suggested starting with something easy. He told me to start with simple stories. I found a channel on YouTube with cartoons for children. It felt funny for a 25-year-old man to watch a cartoon about a bear and a rabbit, but I did it. I watched the first episode. I didn't understand everything. Maybe I understood only 30%, but the pictures helped. I saw the bear running, and I heard the word run. I saw the rabbit eating a carrot, and I heard, yummy. I didn't use subtitles. I just watched and listened. I did this every day. On the bus to work, I put on my headphones. I listened to simple podcasts about daily life. At first, it sounded like noise, blah, 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 but I didn't give up. I promised myself, I will listen to English for 30 minutes every day. No excuses. After 1 month, something magical happened. I was listening to a story about a boy going to the market. Suddenly I realized I wasn't translating in my head. I heard the word apple, and I saw a red fruit in my mind instantly. I didn't think apple means Seb. I just understood. The fog was lifting. I began to hear separate words, not just a stream of noise. I was beginning to hear. After 3 months of listening, I felt different. I understood much more, but my mouth was still lazy. I could understand, but I couldn't speak well. I went back to the advice of the polyglot. Now, he said, you must imitate. He introduced a technique called shadowing. The idea was simple. Listen to a sentence and repeat it exactly like the speaker. Copy their speed. Copy their emotion. Copy their melody. I started practicing in my room. I stood in front of the mirror. I played a video clip. A character said, "What are you doing here?" I paused the video. I looked in the mirror and said, "What are you doing here?" I sounded stiff. I sounded like a robot again. I tried again. The character was angry. So I tried to be angry. "What are you doing here?" I shouted at the mirror. I felt silly. If my mom saw me shouting at the mirror in English, she would think I was crazy. But it was fun. It was much more fun than grammar books. I practiced everywhere. In the shower, I started to talk to myself in English. "The water is hot. The soap smells good. I am washing my hair." I described my day as I lived it. "Now I am making coffee. I am pouring the water. Oh no, I spilled it." I made many mistakes. Sometimes I didn't know the word for spill, so I used drop. I dropped the water. It was wrong, but it didn't matter. Nobody was there to laugh at me. I realized that mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are just proof that you are trying. Every time I made a mistake and corrected it, I learned. Don't be afraid of mistakes. My tongue began to feel more flexible. The English sounds felt less strange in my mouth. I was finding my voice. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. There were days when I felt tired. There were days when I felt like I wasn't improving. On those days, I remembered another piece of advice. Enjoy the journey. I stopped treating English like a subject to study. I made it part of my life. I changed the language on my phone to English. I started following cricket pages on Facebook in English. I listened to English songs and tried to sing along, even though I sing very badly. I also started a small habit, journaling. Every night before I went to sleep, I opened a small notebook. I wrote 3 sentences about my day. Just 3 sentences. Day 1. Today was a long day. My boss was angry. I am tired but happy. Day 2, I ate biryani for lunch. It was delicious. It rained in the afternoon. At first, my sentences were very simple. Subject, verb, object. Simple. But as the months passed, my sentences grew longer. I started using new words I heard in the podcasts. Day 90. Although it rained heavily this afternoon, I managed to get to the gym. I feel proud of myself for staying consistent. I looked back at my first page and compared it to page 90. The difference was huge. I was growing. I was climbing the wall brick by brick. 6 months passed since the day I met the lost tourist. I was a different person now. I wasn't fluent, but I was comfortable. One weekend, my company organized a workshop. We had a guest speaker from the UK. His name was Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts gave a presentation about design trends. He spoke in English. I sat in the audience and listened. To my surprise, I understood almost everything. I didn't need to look at the Hindi translation on the screen. I was so happy and proud. After the presentation, there was a coffee break. Mr. Roberts was standing alone by the table, holding a cup of coffee. Most of my colleagues were too shy to talk to him. They smiled and walked past. I stood there, holding my breath. My heart started beating fast again, just like that day at the bus stop. The old fear tried to come back. "Don't go," the fear whispered. "You will make a mistake. He will not understand you. You will look stupid." But then another voice spoke in my head. It was the voice of the person who had practiced in front of the mirror for 6 months. "It's okay to make mistakes. Just communicate." I took a deep breath. I walked towards Mr. Roberts. "Hello, Mr. Roberts," I said. My voice shook a little, but I kept going. "I really enjoyed your presentation. The part about color theory was very interesting." Mr. Roberts turned and smiled warmly. "Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. Are you a designer?" "Yes," I answered. "I have been a designer for 3 years. I agree with you that simple is better." We started talking. We talked about design. We talked about the weather in Mumbai. We talked about coffee. Did I speak perfectly? No. I am sure I made grammar mistakes. I am sure I pronounced some words wrong. But did he understand me? Yes. Did we have a connection? Yes. We talked for 10 minutes. He didn't laugh at me. He didn't correct my grammar. He just listened and responded. When the break was over, he shook my hand. "It was nice talking to you, Raj. Your English is good." I walked back to my seat, feeling like I was floating on air. I wanted to scream. I wanted to dance. I had done it. I had broken the wall. That night, I didn't write 3 sentences in my journal. I wrote a whole page. I realized that English is not about passing a test. It is not about being perfect. It is about connecting with people. It is about sharing ideas. The journey was not easy. There were no magic pills. It took hundreds of hours of listening. It took many embarrassing moments talking to the mirror. It took discipline to write every day when I was tired. But it was worth it. Now I don't run away when I see a foreigner. I don't hide when I watch a movie. I feel free. The world feels bigger, and I feel bigger too. If you are reading this story and you are scared like I was, I have a message for you. You can do it. Don't worry about the grammar books yet. Put on your headphones, listen to a story. Talk to yourself. Make mistakes, laugh at your mistakes, and do it again tomorrow. The wall is not real. It is only in your mind, and you have the power to break it down. Start today. Thank you for watching.